Home builders are absolutely losing their minds, and they're having to drop prices at quicker rates than anybody has ever imagined. Right now, home builders are in a position where they have to drop the prices on their homes because they are simply not selling. Almost every single home builder out there has seen a ton of cancellations on their contracts over the past couple months, and they've seen a lot of buyers shy away from going to look at those new homes and writing contracts on new ones. In this video, we're going to look at why this is happening, what you need to know about it, the statistics behind this, and also what you can do to capitalize on this if you're looking at new construction yourself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Cody Steck, your favorite Utah realtor. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So like I said, in this video, we are talking about what's happening with new construction. We've seen a lot of builders go out there and they're now offering tons of incentives that they were not offering 6 or 12 months ago. They're offering to do all of these additional upgrades. They're offering to drop the price. They're offering to pay your closing costs, or they're even offering to contribute to the buy down of that buyer's interest rate if they're getting a loan. So there's a lot of incentives that are going out there. They're even offering incentives to agents to bring them buyers as well. So that's something that we are seeing change that was not the case 6 to 12 months ago. So with all these changes, we're going to talk about what's actually happening with prices and what you need to know about it in order to capitalize on it. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into my computer here and take a quick look at the statistics so I can provide you some evidence and kind of just context around what's going on with the market for new construction. Okay, so this is looking at the statistics for homes that were built in 2022. So there's a couple here starting in January, and we saw prices at $574,000. Now this is across all home types, all home prices, right? So this is going to include condos, townhomes, and single family homes. We saw here that prices were at $574,000 on a median basis, and we're selling for roughly 6% above the original listing price. Now, the thing with new construction is this is not entirely concerning, and that doesn't really give us a whole lot of information because the original listing price that you see on the MLS will actually be quite a bit lower than the final sales price. What I mean by that is if you look at a home that's listed for $500,000, that might be the base price of that home, but after you go in and you do upgrades on the home, you change out the carpet and you change the backyard and you finish the basement and you do all these other things, the final price on that home could actually be $550,000, maybe even $600,000. So a lot of times the final sales price comparing to what that original list price is not always a good measure of what's actually happening in the market. That's why you'll see big numbers like this, 121% or 113%, 119 because of that exact reason there. So you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt, but it still can be a good indicator of kind of what's happening if we see those numbers decreasing. Right here in February, we saw sales prices of $600,000. Then we were at $595,000, $587,000, and then jumped up quite a bit actually into May and June, $614,000 and then $627,000. But if you look at these last couple months, we have dropped off pretty substantially from the month of June as interest rates have continued to go up. So if you're looking at new construction, the median price across the board right now, as of September, is sitting at $535,000, which is almost $100,000 less than it was in June. So that's pretty crazy information to see. Now, for the month of October, we're only a couple days into this, about a week at this point, but homes are at $550,000. You can see this big drop off in the percentage right here. We were at 105% back in June, and then that has dropped pretty substantially over the last couple months. And now homes are selling for less than they're listed for. So even if you've got a new construction home out there, you can negotiate. And that's something that I've been doing for a lot of our clients over the past month or so, is actually going out there negotiating with these new construction builders and saying, hey, I know you want $700,000 for that house, but we're not going to give that to you. We're going to buy it for something a lot less than that. And a lot of times we're seeing that these builders are going for it because they need to continue to move volume. They have to sell homes in order to pay off their loans, to pay their contractors, and to be able to go out there and build another home, right? They're in the business of building homes, so they have to keep those sales happening. So before we jump into what this means for you as a buyer or you as a seller, I also want to just narrow down this data even a little bit more by looking at what's happening between the different price ranges. So we're going to jump over here and take a look at price ranges between up to $600,000, and then we'll look between $600,000 to $1 million. Hey, before we continue on, I want to tell you about our newsletter. This is something we've been doing for a while now, and I want you to be a part of it. You can find information to sign up for our newsletter down in the description box below. When you sign up, you're going to get a weekly email from us recapping the videos that we released this week, as well as some other news articles that were not quite worthy of an entire video to themselves. And we're also going to include other information information about what's going on in Salt Lake, what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, and play here along the Wasatch Front. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure to go in the description box below, click that link, enter your email, and sign up. Like I said, we're not going to spam you. It's just one email a week to keep you updated on what's happening here in Utah. I'd love to see you be a part of it, and let's get back to the content. Okay, so looking at this data here for homes that are listed under 600,000, this is going to include a lot of your condos, a lot of your townhomes, and you're going to include your single family starter homes in here as well. So we're seeing a lot of the same information here. If we look back, starting in January, we were at 488, then we were at 481, climbed up to 493, 491, 500 was kind of our peak, and then we've fallen pretty substantially from that number as well. So there are actually, interestingly enough, more new construction homes that are selling over the past couple of months. In August, we saw 299, September 362, but prices are dropping as well. This is much the same information that we saw from that previous chart that we were just looking at. So we topped out at 500,000 for this data set, and then as of last month, we were at 443. Now this month we're showing 485. I do expect that number to drop and probably be somewhere in the mid 400 range by the end of the month. Sometimes when you're looking at data where it's not a complete month, it can be a little bit skewed. So 443, we have seen prices come down pretty substantially from that. That's roughly, what is that, about 11% off of their all-time highs for prices on new construction there. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at what's happening between 600,000 and $1 million. Okay, so if we pulled this data set, I wanted to include these prices specifically because this is a price where a lot of new construction single family homes are at, and what a lot of people are looking for. There's a lot of people who are watching this video, just like yourself, who might be looking for something like this. And as I mentioned that, guys, if you're watching this video and you're thinking about buying or selling or investing in real estate, or maybe even building a new home like we're talking about here, make sure to reach out to me. My information is here on the screen, and it will be in the description box below, where you can email me or even set up a time to chat with me directly. I love hearing from you guys. I've helped people from all across the world relocate here, and also help hundreds of people who live here locally, make a move from one city to the next, or maybe even just down the street. So reach out to me. I love hearing from you guys and cannot wait to hear from you as soon as possible, as soon as you reach out to me. So looking here between 600,000 and $1 million, we're seeing a lot of the same information. This December data, I don't know why that's on there, so you can go ahead and ignore that. But starting here in January, we saw that prices were at 663,000, then they were up to 703, 718, 695, 710, 725, and you might be thinking, wait a minute, this is like kind of going up. And yeah, it kind of is. To be honest with you, we haven't seen the price drops happen as much here in this price range, which I think is really, really interesting. Now, the thing that has changed is that the list prices have gone up on these numbers as well. You can see that this kind of slowly climbs up, and looking here at the last month of full data, we saw in September list prices of 725,000 versus 728,000 on the final sales price. So prices have actually climbed in this 600K to $1 million range. I think that's largely because people are going to do more upgrades at this price range, and I also think that it's because there's going to be a subset of the population of people who are less affected by these rising interest rates and are still willing to pay these higher prices for these homes. So this is something that we're definitely going to keep an eye on over the next couple of months. If you know me, I love the statistics and the numbers on these things. So we're going to keep an eye on this and see what happens with prices. But if you're looking for prices to come down in this range, I think there's a chance you could negotiate off that price a little bit. But as you approach that 600 to $1 million range, it is getting less common, at least at this point. Now, this data here in September, I think we could be seeing a little bit of a shift here. We'll have to wait and see what happens in October, but we may see that we topped out here in August at 730,000, and then we're going to see prices come down over the next little bit. So with that being said, guys, let's talk a little bit about what this means for you as a buyer. As I kind of mentioned earlier in the video, if you're thinking about buying new construction, definitely go out there and try to negotiate your way into a deal. A lot of these builders are sitting on 3, 5, 10, maybe even 15 homes that are coming up for sale in the next month or two that they really need to move. There's a lot of agents out there who are getting desperate. They're working for the builders and they're saying, hey, we need to make some sales happen. The builders are on my butt. We need to make something happen here. And they're willing to really give up a lot of concessions in order to get that sale done. And that being the case, I think this is the perfect opportunity for you to go in there and say, hey, we want you to change this. We want you to finish this bathroom in the basement. We want you to add some landscaping or add in a fence. You can really negotiate a lot of those upgrades that you normally couldn't because of the way the market has shifted. So if you're in a position to buy, I definitely go in there and recommend doing that. Now, if you're looking at building new construction, let's say you wanted to build a home from the ground up, you want to choose everything that's going into the home, that's still a little bit iffy, guys. I think there's a good chance that prices could come down further, and so you might be locking in at a higher price today compared to where prices might be in 3 to 6 months. And what I mean by that is that I do think that prices could come down at least another 5 to 10% over those next couple of months, and so it might not make sense to lock in at today's pricing. Yes, you do give up the ability to, pick out everything that you want in that home, but I don't know, that's going to be a financial decision that you have to kind of make and say, hey, am I willing to take that risk that prices maybe come down and I maybe kind of pay a little bit too much for this home in order to get exactly what I want, get the colors I want, get the paint, the floors, all the upgrades, the hardware, everything that you want in the house. You're going to have to kind of make that decision. So with all that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a friend or a family member who might also be interested in this type of information. And don't forget to reach out to me. As always, my information is here on the screen, and you'll find it in the description box below, where you can email me or even book a call with me directly to talk about your upcoming real estate plans. I love hearing from you guys. Cannot wait to hear from you. Yes, you, the one person watching this video right now. And with that said, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.